Hey guys, this is Benjamin with Benjamin's Exotics, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I keep, or I've been keeping for a little while now, leopard gecko enclosures. Now, right now, I'll give you warnings, disclosures, whatever. The gecko I'm going to show you is and was given to me about 3 years ago as a rescue. This is not an animal I raised from birth, so anything that looks with the animal, I'll tell you right now, the spine's a little bit messed up on this animal. It's got a much shorter tail, and some of its bones, limbs, legs, you can see are not fully developed. Looks fine. It's nothing graphic, nothing like that. I'm just telling you. This is not an animal I raised from a baby, and it would look different if I did. So, let's get straight in the video. So, there's a few different things you're going to want to look with taking care of a leopard gecko. This video is going to be the simplest way to do so. We're looking at a, what is this, 16 quart, 15 liter Sterilite tub, perfect size for one, maybe two geckos. Wouldn't go over 2 or 3 though for something like this size, but one is definitely, this is definitely big enough. So first thing we're going to look at is substrate. In my opinion, you have two options right here, okay? You can go paper towel, newspaper, they're the same thing to me, a little bit different, but basically the same thing. Or you can go with what we've got right here, and I'll show you the animal actually. As you can see, the humidity on top of the lid. We'll talk about that in a minute. Or you can use this Eco Earth coconut husk fiber stuff. Yeah, she's moving around a little bit. She's real cute. This stuff, and all this is, and I'll get some out of her real quick. Ooh, yeah, she did not want to stay in there. It's basically, it's almost just like dirt, but it's coconut husk is basically what it is, right? So you can use that or this. This is going to last you longer, way longer. You can even turn it into bioactive substrate, which means you basically never have to clean it out. Not never, but, you know, you can go years and years and you don't have to clean it out, and she'll just run around here for now. Or you can use newspaper. So I'm actually going to set this cage up real quick with newspaper, and I'll continue to let her run around in here. As you can see, she's eating fine right now. I do not want her to jump off that edge. Or not jump. Okay, she did not stay as I thought she would. So as you can see, she's got a shorter tail. Spine's a little bit messed up there and there. But besides that, this animal's basically fine. She's eating pretty good. Doesn't have too many shed problems. And she's not eating as much as I'd like her to, but she's basically doing pretty good right now. So I'll go ahead and I'll put newspaper in here. Doesn't have to be anything special. I would watch out though, because, you know, I'm sure there is some toxic stuff out there. So we've got our bedding. What's next? Well, we've got to look at water. You have two options for water. You can either go with a water bowl or a humid hide. In my opinion, you should always have a humid hide for shedding. And I don't even put a water bowl in there because I've done it and I've seen snakes drink water. I've seen, you know, tortoises drinking water. I've seen even big monitor lizards drinking water. I've never seen a gecko go up to a water bowl and drink water. That being said, I haven't had a huge exposure to them. I've probably only held about 10 in my whole lifetime, and I've only ever owned this one in particular. I've had some anoles and stuff, but this is a gecko. Leopard gecko, we'll say. So I've never seen them use it. So what they do is you can see the humidity builds up on the side of this, right? And they'll just lick that off. So this is going to be their water source and their humidity source, because they do need a certain amount of humidity, and now they have an option. If they want more humidity, they can go in this. If they want less, they can come out. Also, this will help a lot with shedding and save you from a lot of nightmares trying to get that stuff off. You know, with a gecko with tiny toes and stuff, that's definitely fun, you know, trying to get that stuff off. That was sarcasm, of course. Third thing we're going to look at is heating. If you're doing something like this, you can't do a light. It would be too close, too powerful. So what we're going to be doing is a heat mat. Don't have one with me right now because I didn't want to rip it off the cage. I have multiples though. All it is it's basically you can go underneath the cage. It's going to heat some of this up to get this to a certain amount of moisture, and this. For me, maybe this corner of the cage and not back there should be heated with a heat mat at about, I like to keep it around 88 to 90 degrees. You can go a little bit lower, a little bit higher, whatever you want, but around 88 to 90 degrees is how I keep them. Now they can always go to this side and core down, of course. Oh, she's sitting there licking her eye, I think, and of course she stopped when I zoomed in on her. But so just about this much. You do not want to overheat the gecko, of course. Got a water bowl here, but we're not going to use that because we already have our water source. Now we're going to look at food. Leopard geckos can eat basically two things is what most people feed them. Crickets or mealworms. I do mealworms. You can keep them in a little, whenever I go on vacation, I got a place I get these from. They're just little, I guess, solo travel cups or whatever. Anytime I go down to Lake Erie, there's people who stock them and make them. So I always go down there and I get a few sleeves of these. Great, if they get nasty, throw them away. You can put calcium in there. Normally they won't tip these over. She's not a very big gecko though, so other geckos I'm sure would, but something like this will do. And you'd put your calcium powder in there, which I'll grab and show you in a second, and your mealworms. So give me 1 second actually. Since I was talking about that topic, I'll show you real quick what these two things are. Here is a mealworm. Sorry about the calcium on my fingers. Here's your mealworm. This is what they normally eat. They don't bite, normally, unless they're huge. They don't really do anything to your gecko. They'll turn into a chrysalis and then to a beetle, and then your mealworm really can't eat them at that point because they're not as nutritious, and when they're in the larva stage they don't really move, so that's not good. But these guys are our main food source. And then this white powder in here is the calcium. And you can get it at different places. You got to make sure your quality is good, and there's no way I'm going to be able to get this lid off with one hand, is there? Nope. But just little things like this. This is by Forest Floor, not a hugely known brand, but just stuff like this. Calcium and D3. Doesn't really need D3, but you got to make sure you get that calcium and vitamins in there for them. Now, once we've had this, you could basically just keep a gecko like this. You know, we'll actually take this one out because it's empty, and we'll put in one that looks like it's got some food in it. You got your food, heat, water, hide-ish good. Here's what I like to do, though. I'll go ahead and I'll take these little cork flats. You can get them for real cheap at your plant stores and stuff. This one's actually got a crack in it, so I'm going to put it closer up to the front because the heat will leak out. And this one's pretty solid, no cracks or anything, so we're going to put this at the back. What this does, and we set this over the heat mat. Now this is a pocket of warm air that's going to develop here. So the heat mat's under here, heat a little bit of this up, heat a little bit of this area up, and the whole thing, of course. But now, if the gecko, gets really, really cold or something like that, I always keep my heat mats on thermostats. But let's say that something does go wrong and they get too hot, of course, those go to the other side. But let's say it gets too cold, and this little guy's sitting here, and she's going, you know what, I'm really cold right now, and I don't want to be sitting out here because it's just not warm enough. She can simply, as she'll demonstrate right here, hopefully, just encourage her a little bit, go straight into this. It's a warm pocket of air, not going to escape too much, and it's going to go up and it's going to heat the gecko really nice. This is your basic setup. Then you can go over here, strap your lid on, heat mat. Also, I'll drill some air holes into the side like I've done. You're not really going to have any problems with suffocation, but it's still a good idea just to let some humidity out and stuff like that. And snap that on like that, and there's your leopard gecko cage. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll try to do one with a normal tank. We'll probably use Eco Earth for that, or like the stuff that was in the hide box. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.